if you could just speak to the month of September and the air quality, how it's been, knowing that it's wildfire season.
Sure. We are extremely grateful that this wildfire season to this point has been really mild in comparison to maybe a couple years ago. We're extremely grateful, but it's also important to know we're not out of wildfire season. Even though the weather is changing, which many of us are welcoming, wildfire season can really hang around till as late as mid-October. And so we're just going to keep our fingers crossed that the air quality remains good. We don't see any more fires, and we can enjoy that fall tradition of the seasons changing, temperatures dropping, and no smoke in the sky.
Speak to the fires in Washington and the surrounding states and cities, and kind of how that affects the Eugene area.
So one of the things I think some of us kind of maybe don't think about very often, because it's not something that's right in front of us, is that wildfire smoke can travel hundreds of miles. So even though these are fires well up into the middle of Washington, they can actually travel and transport all the way down here to the south of Willamette Valley. And just depending on the atmospheric weather conditions, sometimes you have the bad luck of a fire being blown your direction, and it just happens to settle in your valley. And so in this case, the smoke and the recent uptick in kind of moderate air quality, we are attributing to the fires in Washington.
Can you speak to any precautions that people can take, or just some things that they should know about the air quality and just inhaling some of that smoke?
Yes, wildfire smoke is really, unfortunately, it's really not good to breathe in. And so trying to minimize the amount of wildfire smoke you breathe in is always a good thing. But in particular, young children, those that may be expecting, older adults, or even folks that are just vulnerable, have lung or heart issues. So to answer your question, let me think. You had asked about what to do. Okay. So we know that we have folks in our community that are particularly vulnerable to smoke, but all of us really want to avoid breathing it in because there are long-term health impacts. So what we recommend is, one, make sure you're checking the AQI every day. Know that that place that you like to go to see what is the air quality outside before you make plans to be out there. And two, if you can, make sure you're protecting your indoor airspace. So if you know that the air quality is going to be bad for the upcoming day, make sure you keep those windows and doors shut. If you have an air purifier, HEPA air purifier being ideal, operate that, and really try to make sure that you have one place that you can be, that you know the air quality is going to be good, because we can't always control what's happening outside.
I'm not sure if this is in your jurisdiction, and if you can speak to it. If not, it's perfectly fine. But as far as prescribed fires, could you speak to the amount of research that goes into lighting that particular area? I know that oftentimes the forest and fire service industries can either wait till the wind is dying down or wait till the wind is kind of going in an opposite direction. Kind of just speak to the work that's done with prescribed fires.
So our agency actually works very closely with the prescribed fires that are occurring in Lane County. The Rivers to Ridges Coalition is who kind of helps lead that. And we have very clear, as the air regulatory agency, very clear prescriptive parameters that we're asking these folks to make sure before you start that fire, we need to make sure the wind is blowing away from where the community is, where the most people live. We want to make sure that the air quality is already in good condition, and that we're not seeing us amplify the air becoming worse, the air quality becoming worse. Also, these folks, a lot of these lands tend to be grasslands or lighter fuels, and so they are very aware of the amount of time and how much smoke it's putting into the air as well. And so a lot of the fires, especially the grassland fires, even though it may be 50, let's say 50 acres, the fire from start to finish maybe would be less than 30 minutes. And so that is where we find it to be very beneficial for the health and well-being of community, is that they're making sure the smoke's going away from where most people live, and that they have all the resources on hand to make sure that the fire is controlled and doing exactly what they want it to.